What's up guys, it's Austin here. Today's Showcase Saturday. We don't have just one gene, we have a combo, and that is the Dreamsicle combo. And we're just going to highlight a couple different Dreamsicles that we have here at Mutation Creation. We have a pretty wide variety with some really nice looking combos, and we want to go help you guys identify some genes inside your Dreamsicle clutches. So right here we just have a Dreamsicle. But before we get into this, we're actually going to go and show you this. These are the ingredients to go and make a Dreamsicle. Here we have a lavender. This one happens to be het for pied. And then here we have a pied, which happens to be het for lavender. And if you were just to breed a pied to a lavender, everything would come out looking normal, but would contain both genes for the pied and lavender. So it's a double het lavender pied. And if you breed two double het lavender pieds together, or double het Dreamsicles together, you have a 1 in 8 chance of hitting a Dreamsicle. So it's not that easy to make, but you can make the odds a lot easier. A lavender het pied to a pied het lavender, and that will give your odds 1 in 4, cutting them in half. But if you were to breed a Dreamsicle to a lavender het pied, your odds would be 1 in 2, cutting them in half again. And then if you breed a Dreamsicle to a Dreamsicle, everything would be Dreamsicle. Those are some ways to create Dreamsicles. Now let's get back to that other Dreamsicle so we can go look at it, and then we'll get into some really cool combos. So going back to the Dreamsicle, right away you can notice that the pattern looks exactly like a pied. The lavender didn't really change anything with the pattern. You still have those really nice saddles, and then this one has a pretty high pattern pied, but you still got those white bands. And right there at the tail we have another long one. So it doesn't change the pattern, but it does change the colors. All those dark colors inside of the pied are now taken away, and where the really dark spots were, especially around the borders, they become this really nice orange color. And then throughout you're going to get this nice mix of orange and yellow just blending throughout, giving this really nice look and very appealing as a baby. We're going to go show you an adult one now, just to show you how they change and age, and then we'll get into those really cool combos that we have here. Here we have an adult Dreamsicle. This is actually a proven breeder female, and you can see that her colors kind of changed a little bit into adulthood. A lot of those orange have faded away, and you get more of those lavender colors, especially where those oranges were. So if you look around here, you got some lavender. If you look at the head, especially where the eye stripes are, right at the nose, you can see you got some of those lavender colors again. A lot of those oranges actually turned into highlighter yellows. You can really see that in the pattern that was white before, in between the oranges. And then the oranges turned into this really nice faded yellow. And if you want to really hold those orange colors into adulthood, you're going to have to get some genes into them. And the first gene we're going to show you is great at that. Let's get right there. First off, we have Yellow Belly. This is a Yellow Belly Dreamsicle. And Yellow Belly changes the pattern a little bit, but also enhances the colors. First off with the pattern, if you look around the edges of the saddles, you'll see a lot of pixelation and kind of like drops coming down from the pattern. It's not as round as the average pied saddles are, and that's pretty prevalent throughout. You can see over here we have it happening again. Over there, and just everywhere we have pixelation around the borders of the saddles, and that's from the Yellow Belly, as well as giving us this more intense orange, and it looks really nice and intense around the borders. Once again, that's where you get more of those really nice oranges. If you even look at the pattern a little bit, it's a little bit wacky and different than a normal Dreamsicle or a normal pied, and it can be very different with the Yellow Bellies. There's a lot of polymorphism throughout, but overall it's a really nice looking snake. And let's go compare this to an adult version. So here in my arm we have the adult Yellow Belly Dreamsicle, and you can see there's a lot more oranges in this snake than there was in the regular Dreamsicle adult. But if you're comparing it to the baby, once again the colors do fade into this yellow color. I'm just let Elias grab that real quick. And looking at the Yellow Belly Dreamsicle into adulthood, we still have that really cool pixelation happening around the borders. We don't have as many of those gray tones we saw with the average Dreamsicle. You still get a couple of them coming through. But now if you look in between the pattern, you can really see that lavender color coming out. It's a big difference between here and here. And if you look, it just really stands out with that yellow and those orange tones throughout. So there's even another step to make this more orange, and we don't have a baby version, but we do have the adult version. So let's go and add pastel to this. So here is the pastel Yellow Belly Dreamsicle, and right away you can just notice how much more orange this is than just the Yellow Belly Dreamsicle, which really was puzzling for me at first, because you're thinking of pastel, you're probably thinking it's going to wash out the snake, but that's not the case inside of the Dreamsicle project. It actually enhances the colors, and those lavender colors you were seeing in between, once again, they don't look lavender anymore. They look this really nice yellow, which is great contrast with those oranges you have in the saddles. And if you look, we still have that pixelation from the yellow belly along the belly right here and along the other side of the saddles. But that pastel came in and turned all those lavender colors into this really nice highlighter yellow, especially at the head. It looks like it's glowing in the middle there and at the snout, and even towards the neck. You can just see the glowing yellow mixed in with the oranges. It's a very cool look for the Dreamsicle, and I was actually very pleased with this combo. It's one of my favorite Dreamsicle combos. I think adding Enchi into here and maybe even Orange Dream would take it up a notch, but we're definitely working towards that in the future. Here we have a fire yellow belly Dreamsicle, and this came out a little bit different than what I expected. It's very small still, but you can already see those nice lavender tones coming in, especially at the neck and the head. And I think that's from the fire coming in, just helping it be that much more bright. And if you look at the head here, we do have a little bit of a head stamp in there, which is kind of cool. It's a little bit of a faded dot going into the back of the neck. We have the connection at the back of the head. Kind of looks like an Enchi, but there's no Enchi inside of here. And you can notice that this is a pretty much 50-50 white to pattern snake, and that's pretty common with the fire pies. They tend to be medium white or really high white pies. And if we just look at the colors inside of here, you can just see that we have this really nice orange and yellow faded tones, and those lavenders are already kicking in once again, which is just really nice. I think with a couple more 100 grams, this female will really pop. So here we have an ivory Dreamsicle. So this is an all white snake. As you know, ivories tend to be all white, or is it all white? So we're actually gonna look at this under a black light. So here you go. So we got our black light, and if we go and look at the dorsal of this snake, you could actually see some of the pattern. I don't know how well the camera is gonna be picking it up, but it is a little bit of orange tones. Right here's a great example. You can see that faded pattern starting right where the light is right now. If I were to go this way a little bit more, you see a lot more white, and that's from the pied, and really cool looking under the black light. Even if we look at the head a little bit, you can, if he wants to cooperate with us, you can kind of see some of the pattern there as well. Back with the lights on, you can see some of the pattern with the black light on the snake, so there is some pattern. You can kind of tell looking at it right now. You can see some of the tones in the dorsal, but it's really hard to see with the naked eye, so that's why sometimes you have to go look at your combos with a black light, especially when you have white snakes. But this is in fact an ivory Dreamsicle, and if you were to look at the eyes right here, you can see the albinism. They tend to have red eyes, and that's exactly what's happening here. Here we have a black pastel Dreamsicle, and this one is an adult breeder female too. Just like the other ones I showed you, they tend to fade out as they are adults, but you can see this one actually held some pretty nice orange tones and has really nice lavenders, especially there in the head. Got some really nice contrast between the lavender tones on the head and in the eye stripes, and then those yellow all throughout. Here we have an Enchi Dreamsicle, and Enchi is really cool inside of the Dreamsicles. It brings in all these nice orange and pink tones mixed in with the oranges and yellows, and it just has a mesmerizing pattern. It almost doesn't even look like a Dreamsicle. Enchi pies tend to be very high pattern, and just when you add lavender into them, they look really cool, and I just really like the colors that it brings into it. Looking at the head there, you do have some lavender tones, but really muted when you have all these pinks and yellows throughout. It's a little bit hard to see the pattern as it ages as well. When this thing came out, those oranges were just almost red, and these yellows are really orange as well. But since it's hatched, here where all this pattern was, this used to be white, now it's turning into a pinkish lavender, which I think is really cool. And we actually have a breeder female, but she is deep inside a shed right now, but I'll still show you her. And you can see once again a very high pattern Dreamsicle, almost no white in it. We do have one band over the top, and that's it. We do have two little ringers coming up the sides, but a very cool looking snake. Even though this thing is deep in shed right now, you can still see it held a lot of those orange colors. It's not looking as orange as it would as if it's shed, but you can still see those really nice pattern with the pinks coming through and the oranges and yellows just mixing throughout. Here we have a pastel Enchi Dreamsicle, and right away you can notice that the colors are a lot different. You lose a lot of those pink and orange tones, and you get a lot more of the yellow and orange tones. The oranges are just not as vibrant as the normal Enchi Dreamsicle, but I do think into adulthood that this thing might look a little bit better than just an NC Dreamsicle, because looking at the pastel yellow belly Dreamsicle, we had a lot of highlighter colors come in, and as a baby it didn't start off like that. So I'm thinking this one, with each shed, it's going to get brighter and brighter and just look better and better. The pattern, once again, is just very cool. You have these spots on the back and dragged lines, just to do with the NC Pied stuff. And we do have one little ringer coming up right there at the neck, and then pretty much the rest of the snake is all pattern, no white. Not even the belly has that much white. So this is going to be a really cool Dreamsicle for the future. I love to see how this guy ages. He's already getting into some breeding projects, and just really happy for this project, breeding into some yellow belly Dreamsicle stuff. But looking at the head right there, we do have that little butterfly stamp from the pastel NC. And you do have a little bit of lavender colors coming in right at the snout there. He doesn't want to cooperate. He's still in breeding mode, so we're actually going to go put him back so we can feed him next. Right here we have a Mojave Dreamsicle, and Mojave is another one of those genes in pied. It tends to be a higher white pied, but in this case we got really lucky and it turned out to be more of a medium white Dreamsicle. So right here we have the Mojave, and Mojave inside a pied tends to wipe out all the pattern in the saddles and give you solid colored saddles that tend to fade out into the white along the sides, and that's exactly the case here. But except it's lavender now, so instead of having those dark colors from the Mojave, you have these really nice yellows and some orange pixelation throughout, and that's where the colors fade into the whites. You have some really dark points inside of Mojave Pieds, and then you have some lighter grays. So when you have that inside of the lavender, that's where you get these really nice faded yellows and the deeper yellows and some of those orange tones. And then of course, Mojave Pieds have a really nice solid color head, and looking right here, that's exactly the case here. And it looks like this guy's almost wearing a little bit of a mask on his face, because the rest of his neck is pretty much white except for that saddle right there. But I really like the Mojave Dreamsicle. I think adding NC to this will turn the oranges up a notch and even bring back some of the pattern, maybe even pinstripe as well. And speaking of pinstripe Dreamsicles, we have one we're going to show you next, and I think it's pretty surprising. So right here is that pinstripe Dreamsicle I was talking about, and this one almost looks like there's NC in there, but there's no NC inside of this snake actually. So pinstripe inside a pied tends to give you solid pattern patches, just like the Mojave does, but towards the neck you do get a little bit of pattern, and it actually gives you that line, but instead of giving the full line that you get inside of the dorsal pattern on pieds, it breaks it up and gives you little dots. So we have a couple of dots here, a couple dots on this side, same thing going all around the neck. It kind of looks like a road pattern. We're going to be making a lot more pinstripe combo Dreamsicles in the future, so stay tuned for that, and let me know down below if this snake really blew your mind. And let's get on to the very last Dreamsicle combo we have today. Here we have the last Dreamsicle combo. This is a blackhead Dreamsicle, het for clown as well, and really excited for this combo because blackhead clowns look amazing, and I think getting the clown into here would be really cool. Hopefully we can also get NC into it to bring back a little bit of the pattern, but this here is a blackhead Dreamsicle, and this one's really high white. They don't always tend to be high white like the black pastels do, but I really like the saturation of the color. If you look at the head, you have a lot of those nice faded oranges, and even though this guy is going into shed right now, you can really see how deep the oranges are in the pattern. And once again, we only have a little bit of pattern at the top and at the back here, but it's really nice colors and very solid orange throughout. This is the first blackhead Dreamsicle that we actually produced, and it being het clown is that much more cool. And we actually have a black pastel blackhead pied 100% double het lavender clown, so that's another one that really excited to grow up to get that grill project going. But even if we miss the clown, we're going to be making some really cool Dreamsicle combos, and I want you guys to comment down below which Dreamsicle was your favorite and what you're looking forward to in the Dreamsicle project. One of the genes I'm looking forward to is Hurricane. I think Hurricane does a lot to pied. A lot of people are just using it in the clowns right now, but I really like the pixelation and what it does to the pattern of the pieds. And I think getting like an NC Hurricane Dreamsicle will be really cool, and that's something we're working towards here in the future. So let's hear what you guys are doing with your Dreamsicle projects, or even if you're in the Dreamsicle projects. But that's pretty much going to be it for this Showcase Saturday. Comment down below what gene or combo you would like to see next. I would love to do some other double recessive combos, or even just a single gene that we haven't done yet. Just comment down below and we'll be sure to get to it. So don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and we'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace out.